think we're live.
Yeah, I think we are. Yep, the start video is starting.
Can we turn just a
We
little
got, yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Legacy Conversations. Come on in. We're here with Jon Boyd.
Jon Boyd.
From Commonwealth. Go ahead and talk to the people, Jon. Say
Good
hello.
afternoon, everybody. Jon Boyd with First Commonwealth Bank. I am a commercial lender. So we do business lending for all kinds of businesses. I can go down a long list. I think today specifically we're going to be talking about some real estate, some commercial real estate. Commercial real estate, investment real estate, we'll put that all kind of in one group. Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit mad at Miss Fontanese this morning, or this afternoon. You know, we were just talking about what we're going to call it. I said, take over the world. She said, Jon, come on. I'm a little bit mad. But, you know, so I'm here. We're ready to answer some questions and do what we can.
Yeah, heck yeah. So come on in, y'all. I see a couple people has jumped on the live, and like we literally want to talk about commercial real estate and I mean just the opportunities that's out there to buy commercial. Yeah. So tell us, Jon, like first, how long you been in the business?
So I've been in the finance business, or at least the lending part of the finance business, for 5 years. It was actually 5 years last week.
Okay.
So I've been dealing with investors and business owners for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been in real estate for 5 years too, so.
Well, I haven't made it as far as you know. I'm not the president of the Mercer County Board or anything like that. I feel very privileged to be able to, be on your live today
Jon
with the president.
Y'all, Jon. Well, welcome. Oh my gosh. So let's get into it. Like, so what's going on in commercial real estate?
Oh, there is a lot going on. It's a crazy time to be in commercial real estate. I'm sure a lot of you guys heard last week that the Fed has raised interest rates. Interest rates went up 75 basis points, which made things interesting for the last couple of weeks.
Very true.
In the commercial market, it's so different, at least from my perspective, than the residential owner-occupied space. You know, my commercial clients, I remember one of the first deals that I did, I was talking to the borrower and we were negotiating on the rate a little bit. We were kind of playing numbers with the rate. Okay. And this is 5 years ago, so a very different rate environment, kind of more similar to where we're at now, where the number started with a 5.
Got it.
And he wants this number to start with a mid-4. And this guy, he's just beating me up. Great guy. I learned a lot from this guy. He's probably got about 150 properties over in Butler County. So we get to a point where we meet in the middle. I'm at like 5.01. And he taught me something really, really interesting. He said, Jon, if it's a good deal at 5, it's a good deal at 6. If it's a good deal at 4, it's probably a good deal at 5. Like, the numbers don't really matter that much from an interest rate perspective. He's like, if I'm worried about 1%, I probably shouldn't be buying this property, right? And so my question to him was like, so, we just did this whole song and dance, this whole conversation for the last hour. He's like, oh, you're just new. You're new, and I want to see what I can get from you. So, we will do this for the first couple of deals. So I get to feel you out, you get to feel me out. So he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot there. And it's funny. So I have a lot of clients.
I'm sure. I mean, you, Jon Boyd.
We've built the network, and I'll drop some hints about building the network too. But we built the network over the last 5 years. And I have clients that are super, super rate sensitive. One of my very best clients, her husband will beat me up over 100th of a percent on a rate.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Jon, I know you have all of my deals right now. But this other lender said he would give me 398, and you're at 399. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
We're not even talking about a difference in your payment at all. And he's just that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I love him. If he's watching, if you're out there, you know who you are. But I have clients that are really not so rate sensitive, and in commercial real estate, there's so many different games you can play. The cash flow game. You and I were just talking about the cash flow game. And I think it's dependent on what market you're in, what area you're in. You know, some people want to play the long-term game of, hey, I want to hold on to this thing, make enough to debt service, and maybe I make a couple of dollars, but 10 years from now, I'm going to sell this thing and double what I sold it. And we talked about that for a little bit. So much going on in commercial real estate. So much going on. So here's my first tip. I'm going to give you a tip.
All right, we got tips.
My dad used to tell me this when I was younger, and I didn't get to it until, I don't think I really realized it until probably 3 or 4 years ago. First tip is, if you hang out with 5 drunk people, you will become the 6th drunk person, I guess I should say.
Right.
To the same point, if you hang out with 5 real estate people, 5 real estate investors, you will become the 6th real estate investor. One thing I've learned specifically with real estate investors are they love talking about what they do. They will give up all the information. They'll give you up all the tapes, who their lender is, where they found their properties. They'll give it all up. I gave it all up to you, right? They'll do the numbers for you. They'll make sure the deal's good. You just got to find the property and sign the paper line. So that's my first hint is, if you want to be great at real estate, surround yourself with people who are great at real estate. And that's why I'm here hanging out with you. Once again, the president. I'm with the president today.
He is with the prez, and I'm telling you, like, just hanging out with Jon, just chatting with him, and his wife is an agent. Shout out to April. You didn't say that to your wife?
You know what? So I'm respectful. Not that I'm respectful. This is your show. I wasn't going to say somebody else, but shout out to my wife, April Boyd, EXP Realty. She's killing the game right now. I think she's been in for 11 months. She's got 10 properties she closed already. She's had another 4 or 5 under contract right now, so she is on fire. Did she just like it?
Yeah, she said hello.
Yeah, she's out there. Hello. Love you.
Oh my gosh. But y'all, I've been hanging out with Jon and just chatting with him, like, just for the past several months, I think. And like, I have the bug. I really do have the investing bug, and I'm telling you, I'm excited about it. It's like, it helps you build wealth.
Absolutely.
And that's why I call these interviews, these live interviews, like legacy conversations, because this is where legacies are built, like with real estate. I mean, you cannot go wrong with owning real estate.
No. Well, as long as you buy it right.
Right, as long as you buy it right. Right, absolutely.
Don't go out telling your friends Jon Boyd said you cannot mess real estate up. I did not say that. That was the press.
You got to buy it right. You got to have a great agent. You have to have a great lender. They have to have a great relationship. Like, relationships matter when you buy in real estate.
Absolutely.
So you were just talking about that.
Shameless plug. Can I do a shameless plug?
Might as well.
So I am part of a group. It's called Acre of Beaver County. There's also another group, Acre of Pittsburgh. August 23rd, we're going to have a meeting, and the name of the meeting is My Core 4 Plus More.
Okay.
So for investors, the core 4 that you got to have with you, you got to have your agent. Somebody's got to find you the deals, right?
Okay, give me the pen. Give me the pen.
Okay. You got to have your agent because somebody's going to find you the deal.
Right.
You got to have your lender, unless you're going to buy cash, because somebody is going to have to finance you in this.
Right.
Right. You got to have your real estate attorney, who's going to make sure that you're protected in the transaction. And then you got to have your accountant, because at the end of the year, your books got to look right. If I'm looking at these things for a loan and it's a nightmare, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
You have a good attorney, a good accountant, a good agent, and a good lender. So it's really 3 A's and an L in there.
Very true.
You should be on a road to success.
That's pretty dope. I mean, I hope y'all taking notes, because, I mean, especially if you're looking to get into investing, like, the gems is being dropped already, even with its shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs.
So
I've only had one so far.
Right,
she
right.
forced me into the wife plug.
I mean, I was saving you, honestly.
I appreciate it. I'd have heard. I was like waiting for permission there.
Gotcha.
You hear me? I was waiting for permission. That's all.
So you need the right so the core 4 is agent, attorney, accountant, and lender.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it.
Yes,
Got
ma'am.
it. Got it. Well, go on. What else?
What else? Okay. Not another shameless plug. I will give you another tip, and I'll tell you a story.
Okay.
So here's my tip. If you want to be in real estate, I want you to write down your goal. So I want you to write down your goal. For me, it's in my bathroom, or it was in my bathroom, beside my mirror. So every day I look in the mirror, brushing my teeth in the morning. I'm shaving my bald head so it looks nice and shiny like this. I can see it every single morning. So 2020, I have done a couple $1 million worth of real estate investing not real estate investing, real estate lending. And I'm super frustrated at this point. It's frustrated because I'm watching everybody else do this. Not only am I watching everybody else do it, I'm financing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know their numbers better than some of these people know their numbers. I see the NOI. I see the return on the investment. I'm like, I got to get into this. I got to get in. So it's on my board. So 2020, I put on my board, hey, I'm going to get 2 of these before the end of the year. My next tip is tell people what your goals are. They'll hold you accountable. It's New Year's Day, or somewhere like within a couple of days of New Year's Day, after New Year's Day, I don't remember exactly. I have not closed on a property yet. I'm not where I want to be. I take it off the wall. I throw it down. I'm mad. I'm disappointed with myself at this point. I have a daughter. My daughter is 11 now, so at that point she's probably about 9. She comes to me and says, Daddy, you took your sign down. Why'd you take your sign down?
Oh, wow.
So in that moment, sign goes right back up. She refocuses me, 9-year-old, with just a question. So write down your goals, tell people your goals. I don't say tell everybody your goals, but tell a couple people your goals. They'll hold you accountable to your goals. If she doesn't make me put it back up, I probably never buy the property.
Wow.
So there's another tip for you.
I mean, that's dope. I mean, because your daughter at 9.
At 9.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But you know what? I mean, the scriptures say train them up in the way that they should go. You know what I'm saying? So when you put these things into our kids and we have conversations about, tips and ideas to create wealth, like they be the ones that make you stand up.
Do not confuse it. They're listening. So my daughter and I, for a very long period of time, have talked about owning stuff and owning businesses and that kind of stuff. I say stuff a lot. So this is probably, we're still in the middle of this right now. My daughter has started her own, shameless plug coming, her own nail salon. It is in the back patio of my house. And we're working through stuff. She's like, Dad, I need some money. I got to go buy nail supplies. And I tell her, when I told my clients that I do my SBA loans for startup projects, it's like, okay, look, we can do this. I will finance it. I need you to give me a business plan. I need you to tell me how you're going to acquire your clients, how much it costs you to buy your stuff, how much you're going to sell it for. So, she's got the itch too. She's got the business owner itch. She actually had her first client 3 weeks ago. She had her first client.
Get out of here.
Where her little friends came over and paid her $20 to do her nails, and I was like, hey, okay.
Look at that. But no, I feel that, because I'll tell you why. My little 4-year-old, she's about to be an author.
Okay.
You know what I mean? She writing a book, y'all.
What kind of book you writing?
Just a children's book. Just so it's about one of her favorite foods.
What's her favorite
Without
food?
giving, I can't. Then I'll be giving it all away.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can give my tips away.
Right. No, but then so I'm gonna make sure that y'all know about the title of the book when we hit production and that. But 4. So I feel like this. She's used to a lifestyle. She got her little what is it called? Her little stuff she likes to do and that. And I mean, she's a smart cookie, just like your daughter. I mean, starting her own business.
You know what? I mean, and that's, look, we don't got to go down this road, but I'm a big proponent of, for my daughters, you know, we're going to live a certain lifestyle.
Right.
And, you know, whether it's dad doing that lifestyle, providing that lifestyle, or it's you providing that lifestyle for yourself later on, we're going to set a standard.
Dig it.
I don't know if you guys listen to Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher. I'm a big fan. Me and him do our Monday motivational. He doesn't know that I do it. I do it with him on Monday. On my way into the office, we get our Monday motivational, and one of his topics is set the standard. So it's one thing we're on. We are setting the standard.
I love that. And so, like, my standard right now for real estate is, first of all, to teach my community. I feel like it's, you know, part of my calling to go and make sure that my community knows how to buy and sell real estate and invest. Because just growing up as a kid, like, that's just not something that we had conversations about, you know, was buying real estate. Like, I mean, kudos to those in our community who did. It's just that wasn't mine. And so the people that I meet who don't know, it's like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's teach you how to invest.
Okay, so look, we want another step in this thing.
Absolutely.
Get your credit right.
Yes.
Please get your credit right.
Absolutely.
And once you get your credit right, please talk to your agent or talk to your banker before you go out and just start doing stuff. We would like to know what we're doing. But get your credit right. And to your point, so my dad was born in the 30s in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
So my dad saw a lot of stuff, right?
Sure.
Moved to Philadelphia. Years and years later, moved to 1987. I'm dating myself here. 1987, I'm born. My dad still grew up with that old mentality of, hey, you want something, you save your money, you buy it in cash, right? So that was always his mentality. Hey, I got to buy it in cash. I got to buy it in cash, which I understand the mentality. I politely, Dad, rest in peace, disagree.
Yeah.
Because when I go to buy this $1 million property that's 20 units, that might be a little bit tough for me to buy in cash.
Sure.
I got to have my credit right.
Sure.
I got to be somebody that the bank trusts that, hey, he's going to pay me back.
Right.
So we got to get our credit right to make sure that we're in a position to borrow.
Right, absolutely. And even, John, like, even to that, like, I just real quick, because I feel like I'm sure people got questions. So, you know, type your questions in the chat and we could answer them because we can see them. But so what if, or how do you know when the property is a right buy? Because I know I had wanted a property and I told you about it and you was like, Fontanese, it don't make sense.
That ain't the one.
Yeah, it don't make sense. And so because of that, you know, and trusting your knowledge, you know, and your expertise in this business, I was like, once I saw what you saw, I was like, yeah, you're right, you know, and I let it go. So when do you know, or when does it make sense?
When does the property make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I shared this with you in the past. So when I'm looking at properties, and I own some properties, because we got past that point of, hey, I was frustrated and took it off the wall. So we own some property now.
Right.
I don't even want to see the property because you agents are good at your job. When it comes to agents selling, like, and I'm a lender. I used to be in sales. I'm technically still in sales. So I'm an easy sell. You can sell me stuff.
Yeah.
But, so I will not go see the property. I don't want to see the property until I see the numbers. I got to fall in love with the numbers first. I got a friend of mine who says, John, those numbers don't blow my skirt up like Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. I need to feel that, whoa, these numbers make a lot of sense. So I'm going to turn the paper back.
Okay, sure. Sure.
So here's my numbers, and I'm going to give you the numbers that I use. It's what a lot of banks use when they're looking at the financing.
Got it.
So if you will take your purchase price, you're going to take your purchase price and automatically take 20% out. So if we're purchasing something for $100,000, take 20% of that out. That's going to be your down payment in most cases.
Okay.
Because the bank's going to finance 80% of your purchase. That's going to leave us with $80,000. Then we're going to start to work on our expenses. Hey, how much are our expenses going to cost? So take your mortgage payment and multiply that number by 12. Now, these numbers do not work, but these are numbers for a deal that we have been talking about.
Right. Right.
So let's say that your mortgage payment for the year is $7,500. Let's say it cost you $1,200 a year for insurance, your $1,800 a year for taxes. The bank is always going to take a vacancy rate. Usually it's going to be 10%. So let's just say for purposes of the conversation, we're talking $3,100 for that vacancy rate.
Okay.
Then you want to give yourself some space for maintenance and management. So maintenance, something's going to go wrong with this property. I just had it happen on one yesterday. What was it that went wrong? Refrigerator. I had to pay to get a refrigerator fixed. Maybe it's a roof, whatever. Just, hey, 5% for vacancy, 10% for vacancy, 5% for maintenance, 5% for management.
Okay.
So let's just say those numbers equal, we'll call it 15,000.
Okay.
Now let's say it's a 4-unit. Okay, I have a 4-unit, so
Got
we'll
it.
use my 4-unit as an example.
Sure.
And let's say you're getting $660 a month per unit.
Got it.
So for the year, your gross income should be roughly $31,000. Okay.
Got it.
Your expenses were 15, so you're going to take 31 minus 15. It's going to leave you with about $16,000.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk to a bank about this, they're going to start analyzing the debt service coverage ratio.
Oh.
Basically, it means for every dollar, let's raise my hand on this way, for every dollar that you spend, how much money are you going to make? Mm-hmm. So in that example that we just went over, for every dollar that you spend on this property, you actually make $1.09.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's a good deal.
Okay.
That's a good deal.
Gotcha.
What the banks want to see is that the bare bone minimum for the bank usually is that for every dollar that you spend, you make a quarter. Because that lets them know that you have the ability to repay them above and beyond, and above and beyond enough that you're not just going to walk away from this property.
Got it.
Hey, if I'm paying you everything, at some point you might be like, hey, I'm not really making no money on this. Y'all take y'all property back, right? But at $1.25, the numbers, the logic kind of works. Hey, you're making a little bit of money. Everything's taken care of. We're good.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you see a property that's, that debt service coverage ratio, your numbers are 2, it's a good deal. The other thing we talked about was cap rate. We talked about this a little bit. I know most investors right now are pretty excited with cap rates anywhere between 6 and 8%. Based on those same numbers that we just went over, that would put you at a cap rate of roughly 14.5%. So that, and that was one that, I can see that property. I know where it's at. It's one of mine. Roughly 14.5 is a killer deal.
Yeah.
Killer deal. But, and actually, shout out, shameless plug, shout out to my wife. My wife found me that deal. Get your core 4 right.
That's right. You gotta have your core 4.
Gotta have your core 4.
Man, but that's so wow. So that's why you need a lender who knows what they're doing when you're buying commercial real estate, or investment real estate, because I mean that's all new to me. Well, until I met Jon, it was all new to me. I didn't know that.
One cool thing I like doing, at this point, I feel like I'm actually like a real estate nerd.
Okay.
I really enjoy just kind of talking about it. I'm one of those guys, like, I'll give you everything. But I have friends, clients, everybody calls me. So I leave my house at 7 o'clock in the morning. I get to my office at like 8:30, right? Mm-hmm. So people who know me well know if you want to catch Jon and you want to go over a deal with Jon, catch him in the car from 7 to 8:30, and boom, we'll figure out between that 7 and 8:30 if this is a deal we want to move on.
Right.
So hey, call me.
I've caught you in the car.
You can catch me on the way back, sometime between like 5 and 7 on the way back. We can do the deal then.
Yeah.
Once I get to the office, I got to put the paperwork in and push the paper all day. But
yeah.
We break deals down. I try to put my clients in a position that I know they're going to be successful. Mm-hmm. I think ultimately there's a level of responsibility as a lender to my client to say, hey, if I know this is a bad deal, I can't let you get into a bad
Right.
deal. And I have responsibility to the bank, right? Also, I got to protect the bank.
Sure.
So I can't put the bank in a position where it's like, hey, I know this is a bad deal, but I want to make this
Right.
loan.
Right.
You know. So if you do things right, you get to sleep at night. Everybody makes some money, and we all end up happy.
Look, and that's how I feel as an agent. Like, I need to sleep at night. Because, I mean, being an entrepreneur, first of all, keeps you up already.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't need anything else, hijacking my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I got to keep it clean, for my clients. So tell us what's going on with Jon. I mean, like...
What's going on with Jon?
Yeah. What you got new? Like, I'm sure you got some promotions or something going on.
Not recently. We're working. First Commonwealth. We're thinking about something, right? No. So I came in the game 5 years ago, fresh out of the insurance industry. I'd never been in banking. Just kind of a different part of the finance industry, and interviewed with one bank. I knew kind of banking made sense. I liked people. I liked numbers. I liked solving problems, which is a lot of what banking is about. So had 2020 was a really awesome year. That Butler branch that I was in had probably one of the biggest years it ever had. Had a great team. I had great leadership. Things really just lined up. End of that year, a goal of mine was to become a business banker. There were some promotions that were kind of going around in 2020 at the end of that year. I never got the phone call. Once again, super disappointed. That was also the same time that the stuff came off the wall. My boss at that point, and they had announced all the promotions at the end of December. January, like first week of January, my boss called me and was like, hey, I know you're disappointed. Are you okay? Yep, I'm good. Yeah. I'm about to actually smash this because now I'm mad that you guys didn't promote me. Like, we're about to go ham. He was like, well, before you go too ham, actually, I wanted to talk with you about something. So that's how I got the promotion and ended up in Bloomfield. And then there were some title differences, between 2021 and 2022. That's when we got the VP and everything else. But no, we're blessed. We're blessed. We're doing well. Things are going good. Even with interest rates going up, one thing I tell my team at this point is, hey, buyers buy. Mm-hmm. Buyers are going to buy. Buyers are going to keep buying. We just have to fix it in our mind that, hey, this interest rate thing isn't an issue.
Right.
And it's also funny. So here's another tip for you. Not really a tip. This one's kind of a fact.
Okay.
In the commercial real estate world and in the investment real estate world over the last 20 years, the interest rate, the normal interest rate, the average interest rate, 6.5%. So I can actually still say to people, hey, we're still in a low interest environment.
Right.
Now we're in a rising rate environment, but we're still low. We're lower than normal has been.
But I think people got so comfortable with them 2s and 3s. You
so
know?
It's funny, and I was talking to another friend of mine last week. And she was asking me, hey, Jon, what do you think is going to happen with your investors? And I said, my older investors that have been doing this for years are going to keep borrowing because they'll remember times in the 90s where we were double-digit interest rate. We were lending at 18, 17, crazy numbers.
Yeah.
So I think the newer one's going to get a little nervous. We're going to have to start to rework some deals and think about deals differently. But at the end of the day, hey, we're still in a good environment, 6.5%. We're still, I know right now my promo, shameless plug, for investment real estate, I have a 5.49% annual percentage rate. I have to say that.
Yeah.
I have another one that's 5.99. So we're still we're still really, really low.
That's 6.5.
Call me if you got a deal you're thinking about. Call me, shameless plug.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we got a couple questions.
Okay, we got some questions.
Yeah. So it says, do either of you have experience with working with small or large businesses that are looking to purchase properties that are non-residential? If so, what challenges did either of you notice that made the sale difficult, or what did you do to make the purchase easier?
So you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I have lots of experience doing non-residential properties.
With big or small companies?
With big or
buyer?
small companies.
Okay.
I've done some big companies. I've done some small companies. I've done some individual buyers that, we're doing it in their personal name, which I don't recommend, but hey, to each their own. Something that will make the deal easier is having the core four. I can't preach it enough. With those big companies, especially as a lender in my seat, the relationship may start with me and that company owner, whoever the decision maker is there.
Okay.
What that really looks like is, John, here's what I want to happen. I want to purchase this property, that property, that property. Actually, now that I think about it, I have a doctor that I'm working with right now who's about to buy 4 properties, and these are 4 fairly large ones. So the way that works is he's going to tell me what he wants to happen. We're going to hash out some numbers. After that, I probably will not talk to this doctor again until we get to the closing table. After that, I'm going to talk to his accountant. That's who's going to get me all the tax returns,
Right.
all the financial documents, the P&Ls, the balance sheets,
Right.
all that stuff. I will talk to his attorney to make sure things are titled the right way, and his attorney and our processing team will go back and forth on some things. But having that core four, having your team ready to go, makes the deal easier. Something that I think makes the deal hard, I don't want to sound arrogant,
No.
but
give the people what they want.
I don't know that there's anything that makes the deal harder.
Mm-hmm.
I think all the deals kind of have their own nuance.
Sure.
And after you've seen a few of them, you kind of start to figure out how to navigate issues and work through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say anything necessarily makes them hard. If there's a lack of communication with somebody, a breakdown in communication,
Right.
yes, that'll make something hard.
Right.
That's so far outside of the norm usually.
Right.
Communication is a key. It's a key in our marriages. It's a key in our lives. It's a key in our friendships. It's a key in business. So as long as we're communicating, I can, pull the strings, get what I need to get done, and usually make it work. I think most of my deals, SBA deals, that's what makes it difficult.
Okay.
If you want to say, hey, I want to do an SBA deal, that one's going to be difficult.
That's going to take a minute.
That was going to take some time. But normally most of my deals, from the day I get from the day I get the sales agreement, in the commercial space at least, from the sales agreement until the time that we're going to be closing, we're sometime between 30 to 45 days.
Mm-hmm.
That SBA window, and I keep saying it, I guess I should explain it. SBA is the Small Business Administration. So if you have a startup company and you're looking for some finance and you're looking for some funding, SBA is a great option. SBA will basically do anything that's not investment real estate, and it can't be lewd or lascivious.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff kind of gets taken off the table there, but it's a great resource. I've gotten to be, I wouldn't say good at that one quite yet. I'm dangerous. I think I know a good bit. And the same thing applies for me. I have my core four in lending that, hey, if it's something I'm not good at, I tap a partner and, hey, help me put this thing together.
Right.
What do we need to do? How do we get it done? So I don't think anything's hard. And, I try to be a positive person. So we never lose, we learn. So if it's difficult, the first time it was difficult, it's going to get easier every single time. Mm-hmm. And I think as a lender, that's really how you get good at it. You do it enough times that, hey, you've mastered the process as much as possible, and now it's seamless. It's like, hey, I need this, this, and that, and boom, we're off to the races.
Yep. And I think, the same with real estate. I think that, it may, of course, it's going to be different in some aspect because you're dealing with different people. Mm-hmm. However, you'd be like, I've been here before. Mm-hmm. I know what this looks like, and I kind of know how to navigate through that. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And, I talk to the head of our underwriting all the time. Probably more than he would like, actually. And, he'll always say, John, once you've seen one deal, you've seen one deal. Because it's so different personally.
Right.
But at the same point, once you've seen one real estate deal for a 4-unit, it's probably going to look a lot like So, once again, there's some nuance to all that stuff. But,
Yeah.
Call me. We'll talk through
Yeah,
deals. We'll
heck
figure
yeah.
stuff out. Get your core four.
So that was from Quentin. Quentin, I hope your question was answered. And in fact, Jordan asked a question about how long it would take to close, but I think you answered that.
So the fastest, I'll give you a window. The fastest I've ever closed the deal, and this one there was a lot going on here. We learned a lot from this experience.
Uh-oh.
The fastest I ever closed a real estate deal was 7 days. It was a commercial deal. We got it done. I had literally everything I needed. I think the longest one, this was an SBA deal. We did a barber shop that was purchasing something right in downtown Pittsburgh. Beautiful, beautiful building. That was probably my favorite loan of all time. But that one took 60 days. So, I think it's fairly quick. If I tell, and I'm up front with my agents too. Agent brings me to the docs. Hey, John, here's the loan. Yeah. Hey, I think we're going to be 60 days on this one. And, agents never like to hear 60 days. Agents like agents like numbers that start with 3s when it comes to closing, maybe a 4.
Sure. 30 to 45.
Yeah, 30 to 40.
Max.
But, once again, some nuance with that SBA stuff. So usually, I'd say 30 to 45 is a great window. If you put me in that 30 day to 45 day window, 95% of the time, we're at the closing table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it depends on that, individual deal, that would cause it to go 60 days. Mm-hmm. Oh. Could you imagine the correspondence on that one?
Well, you know what? So that one, the agent was heavily involved the entire time.
Okay.
So he kind of knew what was going on. I'm fairly communicative with my agents where it's like, hey, here's what's going on. Here's where we're at. I'm probably not going to talk to them every day, but once every 3 days or so, just with an update. Hey, This is what we look like. This is where we're struggling at. Or I'm waiting for this appraisal. And that one was a pretty large deal.
Okay.
That one was, I think, 500,000 or so.
Okay.
So
That's
for
a
that
wait on
size
it.
deal, that's
Yeah.
one of those ones where it's like, hey, wait on it.
Yeah.
And, I've had some lenders that I don't normally, or not lenders. I've had some agents where I don't normally work with them, and we figure our way through the loan. But I had one that was like, hey, I think we're going to pull and go to another lender. I said, okay, that's cool. I understand. Mm-hmm. What I don't understand is, we're talking 60 days on this thing. We're 45 days in.
Oh my god!
Now we're going to talk about pulling and going somewhere else. But hey,
it could have happened the next day.
Hey, we didn't. They didn't pull out.
It wouldn't have made sense. That was probably that's my. Okay. So
here's another tip. If your lender has been around for a little bit, he knows the game. Like, your lender wants to get the deal done as much as you do. Right. So, don't threaten the lender because, he knows the game.
Right.
Hey, we're 10 days away from closing. You pulling out?
I don't think so. No. That was the agent probably talking, not the buyer.
That was the agent.
So, yes, Shaquilla, 7 days. He said he closed in 7 days, his shortest one.
So 60 days was extraordinarily long. 7 days was everything had to be perfect, and it was one of those times that it was.
Yeah.
We did a 7 day.
So quick. So what about, because I'm sure someone is thinking this, is there a minimum of what could be borrowed in commercial?
That's a great question. Disclaimer here, I can only speak for my bank on this.
Certainly.
So once again, I can only speak for my bank and what we do. Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, we will entertain most loans that are 5 digits plus. Gotcha. So if it's a $10,000 purchase, we will do it. We will try to get the deal done as long as everything makes sense, the numbers all work, the credit's in line.
Yeah.
Now, of course, everybody likes the 150s. Everybody really likes the 500s, the 600s. There's this nasty term in finance, though, called redlining. So, it also puts a lot of banks in a position that, you may not want to do that $25,000 loan, but you got to.
Yeah.
You got to. You can't say, hey, that property, and just because we're sitting here, that property in Newcastle is only worth $30,000. We're not sure we want to lend into that.
Right.
Yeah. I know that there are some banks that have some policies that, they won't lend anywhere if it's under $50,000. That's not us. We are a community bank. We call ourselves a community bank. Newcastle specifically, we have 3 branches here. So it's hard to say to your community, we're a community bank. We care about you guys. We want to be active with you guys. But no, we don't want to put our money where you live at.
Right.
So no, we do a lot of the smaller deals. Call me with your smaller deal.
Cool.
I will answer the phone at 7 o'clock in the morning about your smaller deal. The same way I will answer the phone at 7 o'clock in the morning about your 7-figure deal.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. I mean, because some of our communities are small, and of course you don't have maybe some you do have those 1.2 millions, because there is one of those in Farrell, commercial.
1.2 million in Farrell? We're going to have to talk about it.
Sure is.
Yeah, learn what JV means, joint venture.
Absolutely. But I just wanted to ask that because there are a couple of commercial properties that, are small, so.
I mean, I think, I'm trying to think. The smallest one that I think I ever did for a commercial property was probably a $16,000 loan.
Wow.
It was actually the same guy that I was talking about earlier who beat me up
over the rate.
It was his son. His son bought me a $16,000.
Yeah.
And I think I ended up lending to dad, the son, the cousin, the daughter. So those guys in Butler, you know who you are. And
right. But that means you good at what you do. When people start referring you to family and friends, close immediate family, yeah, you good.
It's all about that communication piece and even think about you as a realtor. If you send a deal to a lender first time, lender doesn't talk to you, you never hear anything back. It's 3 weeks later, say, oh yeah, I got the application, I put it in today. You're not messing with him no more.
No, I'm not fooling with him.
That communication piece though. Hey, got the application, want to talk it through with you. We're talking. They're gonna be fairly responsive. They're gonna be fairly happy with your service. If there's any lenders out here watching, here's a great tip for a lender is, and I learned this throughout my process. Don't be afraid of the no. Embrace the no. Hug the no. Hey, this one's a no. I can't get it to go anywhere. There's nothing I can do about it. No, I got a deal. I can't do it. Through this time, I've learned quick no is better than a long, drawn out no. You have to get the no either way.
Wait, let me tell you, them long, drawn out no's are horrible.
They do something to you, don't they?
They horrible. I've had my back against the wall a couple times, and it's it's the most excruciating because you're watching your buyer go through this. You know what I mean? This just, it's horrible. It's horrible.
So I tell my wife all the time, she's like, hey, you're really good at this real estate thing. Do you think you want to be an agent on the side? No.
April.
No. So the cool thing about being a lender is the numbers appeal to me. I understand the numbers. There are, in some cases, some ways to manipulate the numbers, but the numbers are what the numbers are at the end of the day.
Right.
Get a good agent. Work with Fontanese. Work with good agents who care, because I've seen that emotional side of that roller coaster, especially on the residential side.
Oh,
where it's hey, I can see my family living in this house. We want to have our first kid here. That's not my game. The numbers.
Right.
Listen, for me, it's the numbers tell me that you can't live. This ain't the house you're about to have your first kid in. This might be the house you guys can have the second or third kid in, but this ain't the first.
Right.
But
so April just said not everybody's built for this agent thing. LOL. You right, April. They are not.
I am not built for this agent thing at all. No. April, listen, my wife beats me up over deals at nighttime. She'll hey, can I run this deal past you? It's 10 o'clock. I just want to go to bed. It's like, yeah, I know you're not the lender on this one, but let me ask you this and why this lender said this.
Right.
You mad at me? I didn't lend on this.
She needs some questions
Yeah,
answered.
I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad at the situation.
Right.
I need you to explain it to me. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Well, look, Jordan just asked. He says, "What should a first-time agent looking to sell commercial real estate be on the lookout for?"
A first-time agent looking to sell commercial real estate.
So I guess
I think that's a question for you, right?
So probably, but you're the guest.
Okay. What should they be looking for? So I think, and my understanding of being an agent, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
And I'll just, words are going to be the same words over and over and over again in this conversation. I think the first thing you need to do to become a good commercial agent is you got to develop your relationships, right? Mm-hmm. So I have an agent I'm thinking about. She doesn't commercial, so we play with the term commercial.
Right.
It means something different than it means to you to me.
Right.
But let's just say investment. She does a lot of investment stuff. Mm-hmm. I think I did one of her first investment deals, and I think I've probably done 75% of them since. And it's to the point now that when she has a property that she wants to sell, I'm one of her first phone calls. Hey, John, do you have somebody who would be interested in X?
Got it.
It makes the process so much quicker for you. You don't have to have, hey, I need to get pictures taken, I need to get this done, I need to get that done. If you have that network of people who you know and you can trust, everything else gets to be much more simple. Just from the real estate agent side, when you have your people and you trust them and you work with them, you know what they want, you know what they're looking for.
Absolutely.
So then not only can they find deals for you, they'll refer you your friends and family members. So I think long drawn out answer for me there was you gotta work on your relationships. You gotta make sure that you got your people that are around you that can support you, and you can find deals for them and they can find buyers for you.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with that. I mean, relationships is in sales period. I think if you have good relationships, then you'll be a great agent, sales, car sales, like whatever the sales is, as long as you have good relationships.
I agree. I would say, and April, I don't know if she's going to give me a shout out for this one or not, but I think when she first started in her career, we had to kind of work on some mindset stuff. I'm a big mindset person. If I get invited back with the president, maybe we'll talk about mindset one day. But I told her, as you progress through your career as an agent, you'll move from being in the real estate business to being in the relationship business.
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. And that's one. So Marty Kohut, I don't know if you know her, but Marty has been a realtor for several years now, and so she was a mentor to me. And that's one thing that she says. She says, Fontany, she says, referral business is the best business. Because that means you've developed a relationship with your clients, and not only will they return, but they'll send their, family and friends because they trust you, and they want their family and friends to have that, experience. So she was like, and so my goal, is to definitely have referral business.
Absolutely.
That's how you stay in business. Look, my phone's ringing.
Look, that's a referral coming in right now.
That is one of my clients.
But no, I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more. And I think that was one thing that I realized even before I got into banking. And it's one thing that kind of drove my career through banking. So, bankers are sales guys too. We sell loans. It's something that we do. So we all have managers out there somewhere, unless you're a broker. Some of the brokers are probably watching. It's like, John, come work for us. We don't have a boss. No. So my bosses used to call me and say, hey, John, we need you to have this many appointments a week. So at one point, they would even have call nights where they get a bunch of lenders together to set up these appointments for the next week. We don't do those anymore.
Yeah.
We do referral business now.
Absolutely.
So on any given week, I'll be probably a multiple of 2 over the appointment goal that they want me to have because the referrals are coming in. At some point, just like April's like, you gonna turn your phone off Sunday? Why are you talking to people on Sunday? Because these people referring me business. So,
all right, don't get in trouble now, because
it's a balance. It's a balance.
I'm just saying.
If she's pretty, I buy her nice things every now and then. I can buy myself some time. Hey, go get your nails done.
Right. So another question is what do you have to do to become a lender?
Shameless plug. You want to become a lender, right? So I manage the Bloomfield office in Pittsburgh. I don't spend any time in that office anymore. I have an assistant manager. My assistant manager just got promoted to have his own branch, so he's about to be big boy lender now, right?
Yeah.
Call me. Whoever asked that question, call me. I'm hiring for a position in which I will train you in commercial lending, home equity lending, personal lines of credit, all that kind of stuff. Call me. But short answer, I guess, I think it's just an opportunity that you kind of come across. Nobody went to school. Talk to any lender you want to. Nobody went to school. It's like, I'm going to be a banker.
Right.
I'm going to go be a lender.
Right.
Now, I think you just kind of fall into it. And I think eventually what happens is you fall in love with the process.
No, I agree.
You fall in love with the people. And sometimes those people, I joke that, one of these days, one of these people gonna make me take the Clemente Bridge. But, you fall in love with the process, you fall in love with the people. But really, hey, I will give my phone number out for questions here before we get out of here. If you want to be a lender, I know a bunch of banks are hiring right now. I would say my scenario was probably different in that, I came in and became a lender with not a lot of banking experience. But there's a lot of ways that you can get banking experiences. There's a lot of different programs, depending on where you're at, that you can come in with some experience after doing some courses and stuff. But no, banks are hiring right now. I think they call 2021 the Great Resignation, and that hit banks hard.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in getting into lending, contact your local bank. Hey, are you guys hiring? This is what I want to do. I want to learn this. I want to learn that. Or, here's something else I'm big on is mentorship, both ways. I have realistically probably 5 good mentors that I will talk to once a week. I have a real estate mentor. I have a banking. I have a lending. I have a life mentor. And then I have a bunch of people that I mentor as well.
Sure.
And, I'm a sucker for a good story, so I'm not going to say, hey, no, I'm not going to mentor you. No, I don't have time. No, we'll carve time out for somebody who really wants to learn, somebody who's really motivated, who wants to go places in life. So, attach yourself to a mentor, call me, we'll see what we can figure out.
Heck yeah. And no, I feel that same way about real estate as well. Like I have a passion for it. And my thing is I want to see like the look on people's faces when you hand them the keys to their new house, like is just, it's everything. You know what I mean? Like, because so many people feel like they would never accomplish that goal, and so to see that happen, like, and so right now I do have a mentee, and it's actually my cousin. My cousin just recently got her real estate license, and I'm like, come on, I'm going to help you get where you want to go. You know what I mean? Because I have a mentor, like I invest in myself. So I'm a mentor and a mentee at the same time.
You gotta be.
Heck yeah.
And from the mentorship thing, so I feel like I could never just be a mentor all the time because everything's going out.
Yeah.
It's all that energy that I'm giving to everybody else, and I need somebody else to, hey, bring this energy
pour
this
into
way.
You, right?
Which is why my mentors, I can tell you one of them specifically that I'm thinking about. I know I get on his nerves. I know I be on his nerves. With him, he works with me, and it's every day. He can't. I call him on his personal phone. I call him on the work phone. I hit him on the instant messenger in the job. He'd be like, "Dude, I promise I will call you before the day is over. No, you won't. We can talk now." With a whole bunch of ease.
Yeah.
But no, that mentorship thing is great. And to your point, so I kind of talked some trash on SBA loans, right? How long that process is and how difficult that process is. For me, those are the most rewarding loans.
Yeah.
So I not to go too far down the rabbit hole. In most commercial real estate, when you're thinking conventional commercial financing, you're going to be 80% financing. You're going to be looking at like a 20-year amortization. Means the life of the loan is 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at owner-occupied SBA, you're talking 90% financing, and you're talking 25-year repayment.
Got it.
So the one that I was thinking about that, it was very difficult, and I think my client's frustration in that was like, hey, this is a dream of ours. And, when, hey, bad news kind of hits us, like, we're never going to get here. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, we're good. Believe me. Trust me on this one. I got you. We're good. And then when you get to that closing table and you see a grown man, 40 years old, starting to tear up a little bit, and his wife's crying. Yeah. And hey, we're signing the loan docs in between tears. And I'm like, yo, I gotta chill.
Right.
I do this for real, and y'all about to. I got some dust in my eye here, But I think that's probably the most satisfying. Yeah. Is the ones that they didn't know how to put that deal together. With your investors, for the most part, if it's not their first deal or second deal, they're comfortable with the process. They know what it is. You get that SBA borrower, and it's like, hey, I got this business, and we've been renting this thing for 5 years, and we've been in business for 6, and we fought through COVID, and we made it. And hey, here's what our goal is, and you get to that goal with them. Yeah. It's game changer. Yeah, for sure. And those ones, they hit you right here in the heart, for sure. The tough part, I think, for me at least, and it's probably you feel the same way, because it hits you in the heart, and you want to stay in that moment forever. It's like this is what I want to do. Yeah. I got to do this forever. Yeah. And it's like it's almost like a superhero. It's like, no, let me put the cape back on. Got to go find somebody else to do it when I'm out.
Heck yeah. That's the truth. Yeah. That's how it is. Every day. I put my cape on and fly down to Pittsburgh. Heck, look. Dun, 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 dun. Well, y'all, look, we've been here for an hour. So what we're going, it's 7:00. Wow, okay. So we're going to make sure Jon's information is in this chat. If you guys are looking to buy commercial real estate, if you're looking to begin investing in multi-units or single families, right? We do it all. Give Jon a call, and we'll make sure you got that information in the chat. My office hours are 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. I'm just playing. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. You're welcome, Ab. She said thank you for the information. Absolutely. Yeah. I hope I get to come hang out with the president again. Heck yeah. We got to bring him back, right? Like, we got to talk about the deals because look, I'm going to pick his brain because he has to drive back into town. So I'll just pick his brain until we get there. She got me in that driving window again. So thank y'all for tuning in. Like and share the video. If you know someone who needs to check it out, send it to them. If you know someone who is ready to buy commercial real estate, call us. We will be more than healthy. It's after 7, right? I have a 4-year-old at home. Like, it's it. It's a wrap. So, all right, y'all. Have a good night. That was fun.